Mahuta.
Mr Speaker, I want to support Chris Hipkins for introducing this bill as a measure to foster and encourage renewable energy sources. It's no coincidence that on the same day President Barack Obama made his first live televised address calling on Americans to accept that the world is running out of places to drill for oil. Americans are facing a huge environmental battle trying to contain the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. Mr Speaker, while we in Aotearoa, New Zealand do not face the same disaster presented in the States, we do have the same challenge to move aggressively towards renewable sources of energy generation, reducing our carbon emissions and providing greater cost benefits to consumers in time. Simply put, it's the right thing to do. But we have to take action rather than think that in time it will be an inevitable outcome. This bill clearly moves in that direction, and I would hope that Parliament would see the benefit of sending the bill to the Select Committee, really to hear the views of New Zealanders. And that's the important part of this whole process. I'm really disappointed that National has stopped the bill at the starting post without really seeing what the will of other New Zealanders are on this particular matter. I'm sure it's very important to them all. I listened carefully to the contribution of the Honourable Nathan Guy and found it remarkable that nearly in the same breath as stating his government was committed to 90% renewable electricity generation by 2025, he said that his government will not support this bill and vote it down. It's a shame. A softly approach offers no leadership on the matter, and it confirms that the government lacks the vision and ambition to demonstrate Aotearoa New Zealand's commitment to preserving our unique environment while promoting better, more efficient and in time more affordable energy solutions from renewable resources. Presented Sam Latuenga struggled to convince members on this side of the House that he had a coherent argument to justify National's opposition to the bill. He struggled with the whole argument and he wasn't convincing at all. National needs to recognise that climate change does not have a silver bullet to address the compounding effects of carbon on our environment. Each step towards reducing carbon emissions, preferencing renewable energy sources, investing in innovative, clean technology all adds up to solid steps forward. But they refuse to take that step. This bill is just one part of that picture. They should support it to Select Committee at the very minimum. It's important to stress that no attempt has been made to review the energy strategy by the current Minister of Energy and Resources. And at the same time, he and members of his government continue to promote the target of 90% renewable electricity generation by 2025. But there are a lot of questions that emerge from that lack of action. How will this be achieved, Minister? Can you please explain? What steps are you taking to ensure that renewable electricity, the target of 90%, will be reached by 2025? For as long as Charles Chauvel has held this particular spokesperson role, no answer has been forthcoming whatsoever. I listened carefully to the contribution of Tūroro Flavel and the fact that the Māori Party will support this bill. We're pleased to receive that support. We only regret that you couldn't convince your mates to support it as well, because we know that the opportunity to have this discussion and receive feedback would be a positive one. I note also that you cited a number of opportunities where Māori have actively been involved in renewable generation, like Tuarupaki, like in my own area, Taharua Sea, who want to see wind farm generation along the west coast. In fact, Māori are identifying that they want to actively partner this type of opportunity because it's good for the environment, it can be good for business, and it can be good in terms of returning benefit back to tribal members. And there are no dum-dums these days. They can see the opportunities in this area are extensive. They can see that it's a win-win from an economic and an environmental, and in some respects a cultural view, and they want to be a part of it. But no, when we look at the opportunity that this bill provides to move forward, there's no support from the government on the matter. This bill is a good step forward. Once again, I want to commend Chris Hipkins and his endless stock of energy to see a greater emphasis on renewable energy sources. Nō reira, kia koutou katoa, tēnā koutou.